What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea. And tonight we have a little special deep dive kind of interview with a familiar face, probably you guys have seen Debbie from my
Hi guys.
season of Ascendant, season five. Debbie, you were just recently player 140 on
Yes, my
Squid
sure. It's
Game.
hard to see, yes.
Yes, Squid Game, the
Yes, I
challenge
have.
season two. But before we get into the game, Debbie, last time we spoke, I think was around the time that we played together in season five. So how are you? How have you been doing? What's been up with you?
I'm good, Duke. I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I know, we've kind of talked a little with like the football, fantasy
Mm,
football stuff
yes,
too,
yes.
which, my luck is womp womp. Um, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How are things in Philly, right? You're in Philly.
Yeah, we're in Philly. Philly's it's going good. You mentioned the football. We're deep into football season here. So Ascendants, we're running our fundraiser with the fantasy football leagues. So that's full underway. Ascendants, season six has just completed. So that was fun covering that with Scott and the Descendants. But Debbie, we're not here
Yeah.
to talk about that. We're here to talk about Squid Game.
Okay. Even though I love my Ascendants family, but yes.
Yes, yes. So how fun is it for you to get the chance to play in this past season of the Challenge Squid Game?
Yeah.
I wanted to start off with, just how did you get on? What was the process? Like, did
Yeah.
somebody reach out to you? Did you apply? Kind of run us through the background there.
Yeah, well, I definitely applied myself. Even though I've played some LRGs. I've got a few thousand followers on social, but I'm not one of
Mm,
those influencers that have like hundreds of thousands that they're getting reached out to. So obviously, so
mhm,
I applied myself. I being like, as some people might know me. I definitely I'm a gamer, right? I play LRGs. Um I've always dreamt, like I've had a dream. I'm like I want to be on a reality TV show one day. Like that was my dream. Like still a dream to be on like Big Brother or Survivor, but um and so I watched Squid Game the drama. I watched Squid Game the Challenge season 1. Have a few friends that were on, like I know Dash and Dan and a few of them, and I watched it and I was like, I watched Beast Games, and I'm like, okay, Squid Game, I'm here for it. Like this is a big show. It's something I feel like I can shoot my shot for. And I went and applied. I did my 1 minute video. It was like a quick grab your attention type of video, like tell them in a minute, who you are, why you think you can win the money, like what type of player you think you'd be. Um, and I sent in my video in January of 2024. I
wow.
got the call in July of 2024. So they called me. It was, an unknown number, and I was like, oh, like who's calling me? And they were like, you applied 6 months ago to Squid Game the Challenge. This is Studio Lambert. Are you still interested? I was like screaming. I'm like, of course I'm interested. I have time for you. So yeah, so I applied. I must have grabbed their attention. They called me and then, answered, I spoke to them, answered a bunch of questions, had my Zoom interview, and I was, in the cycle. It was definitely a process. I don't know about I've heard things about other reality shows, but I started in July, got cast in begin officially in beginning of December, but unofficially end of November when they kind of told me to tell my work. Like I pretty much knew. So this took like a 6 month process. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to apply because I'm a reality show super fan. I wanted to, try and win the money, and I wanted to show the world who I am. And yeah,
Debbie, we have a little bit of a connection here. We are both from the great state of New Jersey. I
yes.
like to think that, New Jersey people, they have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of, a little bit of a fight in them. Do you think that is something that drew the casting people toward, like, let's get Debbie in here. Let's get this New Jersey fighter in here.
Well, there were a few other Jersey ins on the cast, but I do think in my video, I call myself Jersey Debbie. So I was like, I'm Jersey. My friends call me Jersey Debbie, I'm not just Debbie. I'm no Boston Rob, but so I think that drew their attention. I think, I do talk fast. I have a little bit of a Jersey accent. Talking fast isn't the greatest for reality TV, but I think they were like, she's spunky. Like I kind of was like, this is who I am, boom, boom, boom. Um, and I definitely think that. I think that helped. I think I'm also a Lyme disease survivor, so I talked about that and how I wanted to give back, and that's um, what I would do with the money. It would help my family, and I talked about my story. I talked about being a busy mom of two boys. I need my coffee, so that accent comes in. How I do bar and yoga, and I'm really competitive. So yeah, I do think being from Jersey helped me stand out, right? Like I think my whole gimmick of calling myself Jersey Debbie. Like I think if you have a gimmick or like some sort of a hook. You need a hook, right? Because if you're
Mhm.
just like, "Hi, I'm Duke, I'm blah blah blah, I'm from Philly," or "Hi, I'm Debbie, my age, blah blah blah." It's like in 10 seconds, next. You got to be like,
Yeah.
"My friends call me this," or like you got to grab their attention and then you say your name and introduce yourself. So I think it was just grabbing their attention within like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, so Debbie, you mentioned that you had watched, the previous season.
Yeah.
You've watched Beast Games, and you were a fan of the show. You had some friends play. I think Dash is somebody that I also am familiar with from
Yeah.
Sequester. Um,
Yeah, he played sequester. Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to ask, you say that the process was you had a couple months where you kind of were like, I'm gonna probably be on the show. What do you do to like to
Yeah.
prepare for the show? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I had a few months where I was pulling my hair out, being like, "Am I getting on? Am I getting on?" The anxiety. But yeah, I pretty much, kind of once you're in like the background checks and psych, and you're like, tell your work, you're gonna take off. Like, can you take off work? Like, what? Like, you're like, there's no reason they're not gonna cast me at this point, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there could be reasons, but it's like they you're far in, deep in. So how I prepared was, I try and go to the gym like 5 times a week. So I wanted to like keep in shape,
Nice.
keep healthy, eating healthy. Um, one of the things they said to do was, go more than 2 weeks, but my dumbass only did 2 weeks. But they were like a few months before, like give up coffee because you can't drink coffee, you can't
Oh
drink
wow.
tea, you can't drink you know, you can't drink caffeine. So while
Oh
you're
wow.
there in the dorms, the only thing you're drinking is water. You're
Okay.
eating, they're giving you the porridge, the bland porridge, the food, the granola bars, the raisins, but you're drinking water. So they're like, you need to learn if you're going to be here how to go without caffeine.
Mhm.
That was hard. Like I got withdrawal headaches. So yeah, so like 2 weeks before I'm like, I guess it's time to give up the caffeine. Um,
Yeah.
so just keeping in shape, giving up the caffeine, trying to eat healthier, trying to stay strong. You can't have alcohol there, obviously, like while you're in the game. And also like I bought all the games from like the pentathlon to practice, like all the mini
Okay.
games. So I was like practicing. I was also practicing red light, green light like crazy, which didn't
Okay.
happen. So I was like thinking like, what do I need to prepare for? You know, but it's interesting because I was also listening to podcasts from people from season one, and like trying to remember the music of Red Light, Green Light from season one. Like I was researching.
Yeah.
And I remember some people were like, you could prepare or you just go last minute and wing it. Like one of my friends went last minute and did better than me. She's like, so it's sometimes about luck. It's sometimes you don't need to prepare. It's like you when you're in the moment. So I don't know if that really helped me per se, but I definitely prepared that way. Also, another thing that can be a good thing and a bad thing for someone like myself, but I'm a gamer, right? So I was thinking strategy, like how do I want to go in and play this game? Do I want to go in and try and meet everyone and like play the middle? Do I want to form an alliance, or do I want to like you know target threats. So I went in with my gamer survivor brain, which isn't the way to play because like it's Squid Games, it's very different. You can't
Yeah.
play strategically like you're playing a Big Brother or Survivor game. Um, but yeah, I mean, those thoughts went through my head, like, oh my God, how am I gonna play this game? What are my goals? And at the end of the day, of course I wanted screen time, but I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to be authentically myself and I'm going to go in there and meet as many people as possible because if I get eliminated right away, I want to say my goal was to go in there and make new friends. And I want to say I met people and people remembered who I am because, um, I wanted to like get screen time, but I also didn't want to stand out and be a target. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
play to win the money, not just to play a character.
Right. Something that you said that I found interesting is that you wanted to practice red light, green light, but it didn't happen. But it kind of did happen right
Yeah.
towards the very end of the game. So
Yes.
kind of smart, to try. But like, how do you practice that? Like, are
Yeah.
you just like in your house with your kids, like playing the song, and then you guys are like running?
Yeah, so like it was cold. I'm like, I'm not wearing a jacket and going in the freezing wind and practicing. So yeah, it was like in my house. I would like freeze. I'd be like, Donna, wait, what's the song again? Monana, Kenya, Kyo, Sinua. And then I would, when it says Kyo, Sinu, before the last second, I would stop because if you
Okay.
stop too
Yeah.
like too late, you're dead. And I would practice like leaning on the wall, like standing. I practiced in the hotel. Like we were sequestered in the hotel with no phones, like in our room. I would like literally practice by myself in the hotel, being like singing the song in my head. It was all for nothing. And the funny thing is, I was like, okay, we're going to be doing this for 8 hours and we're going to be freezing. So they didn't give us our long johns. So that was like number one. Oh, we're not doing red light, green light because if they didn't think we'd be cold. But the other thing was, I was like, okay, even though they didn't give us like our thermals, like the thermals for under the pants and like I'm gonna wear double underwear. Like I couldn't wear double socks with the shoes, but I'm like I'm gonna try and like layer going into the game, which I did, which didn't help. But I also was like, you know what, like I know this is like a little TMI, but I'm like I don't have my time of month, but I'm going to put a pad on in case I really have to pee in 8 hours and I can't hold it. My friends were like, we're gonna be peeing and pooping ourselves. Like I don't give a shit. I'm literally gonna freeze and not move. So I had a pad on, but yeah, no, I was like, this is all for nothing. So those were the things that went through my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said thermals. So I'm assuming that that
Yeah.
means that you thought that the red light, green light was going to be taking place outside. Like, run me through why the thermals were a big
No,
thing.
so it's inside, but it's in this dome that's like freezing cold. Like last year they did it in like an old airport hangar. So like
Okay.
we just thought it was gonna be cold.
Oh, in general.
Like we just
Okay.
heard last year they were freezing, they were numb, frostbitten, but like, it's cold in the UK in January and February.
Okay. And that's where it takes place in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the end of January to beginning of February. So it was cold. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. For some reason, I thought it took place somewhere in Texas, so I did not know that it took place in the UK. That's
Oh
interesting.
no. No, what made you think Texas? That's warm.
I feel like maybe I got that mixed up with the Beast Games, but
Oh,
maybe I'm
that
not
was
sure.
Canada, I think. Maybe it was Texas too, but an island,
Yeah,
yeah. They
some,
were outside in
so,
the warm, yeah.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So I always wondered what people do to prepare. You mentioned, practicing some of the games that happened in the relay or the triathlon, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And so did you actually practice that game where, you throw the things up and everything?
Yeah, I could not do that. I could not do like the envelope for the life of me, but I mastered flying rock and I was so good at it. I could do it underhand, I could do it in one shot. I wound up doing this ball and cup instead, which was stupid last minute. I switched with a teammate and I was like, oh, I play orgs. Like, obviously, they didn't put that on camera, but I was like, I play online reality games where, like, I could throw a ball in a cup, not on a damn string. But,
Yeah.
so I did that one instead. But yeah, womp womp. But, yeah, but I was practicing all those games.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So, somebody in season 6 of Ascendance ended up bringing that game to play during in the VOV. So I got a chance to kind of practice that
Oh my
game, which
God.
was very interesting. I was terrible
Did
at it
you
as
think it was
well.
hard? Did
I
you
was
think it was
terrible.
hard?
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Like so they had literally the thin cup with the ball on a string.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
and is it this?
The dice game where you throw it up in the air and then you try to
Oh,
catch
the
it.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I cannot do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do
Uh,
the cards tower either. Yeah.
yeah, it seemed like a lot. But I also wanted to ask you before we get into the actual game that you played.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the seasons of the actual show, Squid Game, at all to prepare?
Uh, yeah. So also I prepared by watching the drama. They told us to watch season 2 and 3 of the drama. I did watch that as well. Yes.
Okay. Did you have a favorite character for that from watching that season? Any of the
I did.
seasons?
I had a few. So the pregnant woman,
Yeah.
with the boyfriend,
Hmm.
also the mom. So the older mom with the son. I felt like her during my game. I don't know if you remember when she was like, she couldn't do it, and she was like, slap me, slap me.
Yeah.
Um, I kept huffing and puffing. So I'm literally doing the ball and cup with my team, like in the pentathlon. I can't do it. I'm like it's like going like 20 times. And I'm like, like literally hyperventilating because I'm like sweating, hyperventilating, like breathing heavy because I'm like, my team and I were dead. We're dying.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and they were like, Debbie, breathe, calm down, you got this. And finally that pink band's like passed. But I wanted to be like, slap me.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, those are my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was such a big fan of the show. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite shows that Netflix has put out is Squid Game. Hopefully they do it seems like they might do a an American version which of the drama, which would be
Yeah.
so much fun.
That'll be interesting. Who's your favorite character?
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the villains. I like the villains. So Thanos, he's actually one of my in one of the fantasy leagues that I'm in, he's my Avi. So I'm a big Thanos fan.
My son is obsessed with Thanos. He went on Amazon and like my 6-year-old and he's like, I need to get the Thanos necklace. I'm like, you don't want that necklace. He like puts stuff in it. He's like, I
Yeah,
just
don't
want
do
the
it.
necklace that it looks like. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, Thanos is a good one. Yeah, but yeah, I liked, because like she had the baby and he wound up like keeping the other pregnant woman, like the baby. But yeah.
yeah. Um, Debbie, I wanted to ask you, there's 456 players in this game, and each of you are assigned a number. You were assigned 140. Is there any like picking of the numbers, or are you just assigned this number?
No, so like I actually asked, which is the funniest thing, like I asked my casting person, I was like, can I like suggest a number? And she's like, no, but like go ahead, I'll ask them if you really want one. I'm like, okay, this sounds really like this sounds like a lot, but like my birthday's June 9th, 6/9. So I'm like, can I have the number 69 or like 169 or 26? She's like, we'll try. Negative, that didn't happen. So they were like, when you get there, we're gonna randomly assign you a number. So you get to the hotel, everyone's like standing in a line, you get your number, it's already assigned to you. Like it's
Okay.
like you get there and like once you get there, you give away your phone and then you get your number. So like you're not allowed, you can't like that's it, your phone's gone, you can't tell anyone your number, like you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. So when you get on site, right, into I guess it's the UK, and you're being sequestered before the game begins. So like, how long are you being sequestered for?
So there were 2 days of arrivals. They staggered them. Like half the cast came the first day, half the second. So I came the second day. So it wound up being 2 nights. Yeah. So it was like two nights that we stayed in the hotel. So like almost 3 days. Yeah. Some people 4 days. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you've watched or heard anything about this current season of Survivor, but something that's interesting that happened was during the sequester process, people were taken out of the game because of intermingling before in the pregame. Was there, I'm not asking if there was any of that, but I'm asking, were you able to kind of size up the competition
Yeah.
throughout the process? And was there anybody that stood out that made an impact on the show?
Yeah, so I know other shows sequester way more than us. Like I didn't know that about Survivor this season, but I do watch it. I go
Mhm.
to like the Bryson Wen, parties and stuff. But
Oh, nice.
yeah. So yeah, I was telling you that there was the one in Philly. I guess you couldn't go. We had our Squid Games premiere party in Philly at the
Yeah.
Fringe Bar.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but
Nice, nice.
anyways, yeah. Um, so yeah, so okay, so last year, like I think they were allowed to have their phones and people got caught like talking and like they were like kicked out of the game before.
Oh,
But this
wow.
year we didn't have our phones, but we were allowed to talk at meal times, not in the hotel. So you had to stay by yourself, but when you were going downstairs to meal times, you were allowed to talk. So they put us into cohorts by arrivals and just 50 people in each cohort. So my cohort was red. So during meal times, you were allowed to talk to your cohort, and those were like people formed relationships before the game started because they wanted people to like form alliances and like get to know people in that cohort. So going
Okay.
in, it can make it seem like you had relationships. Um, but we saw people from other cohorts like coming in and out while they were eating. Yeah, I was sizing people up and I was seeing people, and I actually like during that time in the hotel, I'm like, oh my God, there's Mark, player 100, who I've played competitive events with and I'm friends with in real life. I was in a cohort with Manfred, who is also in the LRG community, but I didn't play with him specifically, but like I knew him and like we connected there. And then
Okay.
I saw Eric Eldridge, who's in the LRG community, and Melissa. So like I was like, oh, I see some familiar faces. Cause so going into the game, I had a feeling I would see people I knew from like orgs or LRGs, like at least a few of us, because
Mhm.
so many apply and it's such a big show. But I was also sizing up the competition. Yeah, I was like, this one looks like they're gonna be a loud one or like a target, or they're gonna be, But yeah, for sure, like you're seeing like who looks like they're gonna be um, a threat.
Yeah. That's interesting though, that it's kind of encouraged for the people during
Yeah.
before the game to kind of chit chat, form alliances, form bonds. It's usually the opposite in some of the other games. But I guess,
Yeah,
it's a
only
huge game.
during mealtime. Yeah, only during mealtime. Like you are not allowed to talk after you're
Mm.
done. You go upstairs to your room by yourself. You are not allowed to talk or come out of your room. If you come out of your room and you go to anyone else's room and you're caught talking or you're caught with a phone or anything, you're kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
But during the meal times, you're allowed to talk.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Something that I thought found interesting was, you in the game, there's the sleeping quarters. There's the huge
yeah.
room with all the like 456 bunks beds or whatever. Um, how do you pick where to sleep?
Well, I was
So
like, do I want to like stay with the group of people and like people think I'm in like an alliance, or do I want to kind of like divide and conquer and like meet new people and kind of like have my bed in a different place so I can meet new people and see like different areas and like so that's what I did. I had my bed next to my friend Hannah and I met some new people. A lot of people were like near the bathroom and then I was on the end. Not that it mattered, but I wanted to be able to like see out and see everyone. But I also didn't want to pick my bed all the way up. So like my bed was the third ladder. I tried going up the fourth. I'm like, I can't even get up there to climb up because I'm so short. I'm like, the third one is the highest I can go. Um, yeah,
interesting.
yeah, but it was cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I always wondered how that kind of process goes with the beds because such an interesting part of the Squid Game is that everybody is sleeping literally on top of each other basically in bunk beds. So fun.
yeah. Well,
Um,
kind of like Ascendants too, right?
yeah,
but
yeah, a little bit
um,
bigger, a little bit bigger though.
but so and there was a time like for the pentathlon we had 2 days, like people were going in between 2 days. And I remember like we took a nap, like I was like, oh, I want to go lay down. And they removed my bed. And I was like, someone moved, like they would move beds when people left. And I'm like, someone moved my bed. And they're like, oh, like sleep in this other bed. And I'm like, but and I'm like, but this wasn't the bed I slept in. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like they just kept moving beds. I'm like, I'm sleeping on someone else's sheets, whatever. But yeah.
Oh, that's the
Um,
worst.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Debbie, so you mentioned the ability to choose the blue or the red X, and you chose the red X. How kind of random was that? Was there any like, all my people are over here, I'm gonna choose this
Yeah.
side, or was there like kind of just randomness?
So in the red cohort, like half went to blue, half went to red, but I'm like, okay,
Okay.
red X. Also, it was kind of staying with my people. So I knew Mark, I knew the LRG people. I saw them all go to X. So I'm like, if they're going down, we're going down together. Like I'm going down at least with people I know. And I
Hmm.
trusted them. They're gamers. And I'm like, they must know what they're doing because we play games and these people, some of them never like watched reality TV before. So I was like, I'm going to Red X. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay with the people I know. And I followed them over to X, and then I grabbed my friend Hannah, and like I saw a few people like a lot of people went to O2, but I was like, I'm gonna do X because I think this is a smart move. So I just knew it in my gut, and I went with the people I knew.
Yeah. And then, so you guys are told, what's going on. You're like, you have to nominate
Yeah.
somebody to, basically do this task, and both of the twins are nominated to do the task
Mm-hmm.
of,
Yeah.
whatever, however long, 7 minutes or whatever. Um, so for you, were you ever like thrust into a position where you wanted to make your voice heard, or did you ever want to like volunteer for anything like that? Or was it more
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna let them do that?
So it was 4:56 to count to.
Okay.
4:56 seconds. Yeah. Maybe it was 7 minutes, but um, you had to be with a duo to do it, but also like I did not want to volunteer for like chores or anything, even though I'm
Hmm.
like I feel like I have a big personality. Like I wanted to stand out, but I also didn't want to become a target. I wanted to stay under the radar and not put myself out there right away. So people didn't know me, they didn't know my number, so they wouldn't kill me. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they knew me, but I wasn't gonna like be a squeaky wheel. So no, I was like, I'm not volunteering. All of other people do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and was that kind of like the same thing? Like a lot of the time, like a lot throughout the season, there was opportunities, to maybe chance things. Like with the doll, you could pick the doll, and then it's giving you a power or something. Were you ever like, let me fuck around and see what that's about, you know?
So if I was there long enough, I was planning to like do chores and do that eventually. I just didn't want to volunteer first. I didn't want to be the first to go
Yeah,
to chores, the first to do things. My plan was to eventually volunteer, yes, but not at first, like wait a few rounds.
understood. Yeah. Smart because
Yeah,
you see the twins and they end up becoming a target almost immediately. I think one gets
right.
killed by somebody too. Um,
Yes.
so that's interesting.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, let's move into the pen what is it? The pentathlon?
Pentathlon. Yeah.
Pentathlon. So remind me how the teams are formed, how you formed your team,
Yeah.
what the process was with that.
Yeah. So we go into this white room. And we're thinking we're probably going into teams because they're like, everyone talk. And we're like, oh my God, we're probably about to form teams. And I'm like with my friend Hannah and this girl Bethany, like we're all like petite girls. And I'm like, we probably all need to be the same height. Like I had a feeling what it was. And they were like, everyone get into groups of 10. So I was like, well, the pentathlon's 5. They're telling us to get into groups of 10. And then one group were to have 9 and 8. So it kind of threw me off. But we kind of just went into groups of 10. Like I was with Vanessa from Big Brother. She was on the other side. And we just like formed groups. Like you had to like form groups really quick. I mean, I didn't know some of the people on my team, so it was scary not knowing people. Like I was taking a leap of faith and a chance, but I stuck with my friend Hannah. Um, and we were gonna stick with Bethany, and she's like, I think we should separate. And I'm like, no, I think we should stay together. But she left. We had 10 minutes and we're like, oh my God. Um, and so you just had to hope and pray at that point. But yeah, so they said, stay in a group of 10. And eventually, when we got into the pentathlon, they divided us in the middle in 5. And I just sank because I'm like, I thought as a group of 10 we were strong, but then against the other 5, I was like, we're screwed. Um, but
Now
yeah, you
not to
form
cut you
groups,
off,
you pick
Debbie,
groups.
but you said that you were in a group with Vanessa from Big Brother. Is that like from Big Brother 17, Vanessa?
Oh, sorry. Vanessa, she was top 5. Vanessa was from Big
Oh,
Brother
okay.
Canada.
Okay. Was she? I did not know
Van
that. I did
yeah,
not
so,
know that.
sorry, I didn't mean Big Brother. I meant that she was on Big Brother Canada, and at the time I didn't know, but then I learned that she was on. Yeah, Vanessa, that was in top five with the curly blonde hair. Yeah,
I didn't know that either. That's interesting. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, you were saying, go ahead.
yeah. So we formed teams. And like you didn't know what the game was until we waited, and we had to wait for like 2 days to find out, like sitting there on ice. They kept telling us simmer down. It's like this thing, like stop talking. Um, you literally sit there and like you're not allowed to talk for 2 days, really, because I'm
Two
not kidding.
days.
So they divided the groups into 2 days. The first day, some groups went. If they won, they
Wow.
slept outside of the dorms, so they didn't see who won. Our team went the second day, and we literally had to sit there and wait in like hardwood floors, and like we would get like fed like for mealtime, but like you're really not allowed to talk because they don't want you to strategize and think about the game beforehand. So
Hmm.
we had to sit there quietly for 2 days. Yeah.
That's crazy. That is
Yeah.
crazy. So the game that you eventually end up playing, is that in the same vicinity of where you're sleeping? Like is that a completely different site, off site?
It's a completely different site. It was a different room that they set up, just like the X room was a different room that they set up. Yeah. Oh no, it was in the same site. We didn't like transport there. It was in
Okay.
the facility. It was just not in the dorm. Yeah. It was in a different
Gotcha.
room in the facility where the dorm is. Yeah.
Gotcha. I always find it interesting. I'm a engineer, civil engineer by trade, similar to an architect. So I find it so interesting
Yeah.
the layouts of all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
where is it, in relation to where we're seeing it on film. So that's interesting to
Yeah.
me. Did you ever get to go into any of those colorful hallways where they have the staircases that go up and down?
Yes. They didn't show us walking the stairs, but I got to walk the stairs. Yes.
That's
It
kind of
was
sick.
cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Like they were like they had us like practice like because they want to get the shot. So my time wasn't in the shot because it was later in the show. But yes, we walked up and down the stairs. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your ultimate group of five, you did not you knew your one friend that you mentioned, but you didn't know the other three then, I'm assuming?
So I did. So okay. So I actually there were a few girls I knew because Erin, who was in my cohort, was also in my group of five. But my friend Hannah wound up going to the other side in the like where they split the group of five with the
Okay.
10.
So you're
So
competing against her.
yeah, I competed against her. I didn't know some of them beforehand, but while you're waiting, you get to know them. So like I
Mhm.
got to know everyone. Um, and then three other people I was with, I didn't know them before, but we were just, trying to strategize.
Okay, so did once you guys got split up and now you realize, okay, we're gonna be going up against this team. You're going up against your friend, you're going up against the other four
Yeah.
that you're friends with. Were you guys confident or were you like, I don't know what's gonna happen here?
I always had a pit in my stomach. I try and be confident, but I was always like I'm just in like I was internalizing like I'm in my head because it's like when you've got the shining lights on you, like it's not like an allergy, it's like the real deal, and like you're just like in your head.
Yeah.
um so I don't know, like I wasn't confident because I just didn't know. I was like, fuck, like we're against like such a strong team. We were like, we got this. And someone on my team was like, I don't know, like if we should switch positions because of height. So I was trying to be a team player and I'm like, I'll do the ball and cup instead of the flying rock. At the end of the day, the other team was super quick. They would have beaten us anyway. I would have just
Okay.
felt better doing flying rock. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was just like, let's just, like I was just like scared. I was scared, you know?
So you end up, so you know, were you guys discussing the height thing because knowing that what you were about to go into, like, did you
Yeah.
know that that was what we were doing and you're like, okay, let's switch it up height wise. I
Yes.
just I just don't understand why the height mattered.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it didn't matter, but some people thought it did that you like if you want to like walk like 1, 2, 1, 2, like with your feet, that like it's easier when you're near someone that is your height.
Okay.
So you don't fall over. It didn't really matter, but the woman next to me, like that was on my team, like thought it would. So, but she was like, I, she didn't seem confident in ball and cup, but she was like, "Oh, flying rock seems easy. I didn't practice, but I could do it." And I'm like, I don't know. So I switched because I wanted to be a team player and I figured because of the height thing and I was like, okay, if you think you could do it. But it was disastrous because not only did I suck at ball at cop, she took 3 times to do flying rock and I was looking at that thing and I was like, I could have done it in one shot. But it is what it is when you're in the moment. You had 10 minutes once they told you the game and you had 10 minutes to talk to your team and decide who's doing what. And so all day I was like, I'm doing flying rock, I'm doing flying rock. And then when you're in the moment, you think, oh, you're going to be decisive and go with your decision, which I should have gone with my gut. But when you're in the moment, like sometimes you panic and you just make a decision and then you realize, you know, shit, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah,
There's also the element of if the woman's not confident in what she's about to do, you kind of were like, well, if she's not confident in what she's going to do, I might as well give it my best shot at it because then
exactly.
we'll have a flying chance. So
Hmm.
I think,
That's
this,
exactly.
yeah, despite it not working out, I think it probably was the right move morale wise.
Yeah, I think so because I mean, she was just like, I'll do either, but she said, "Oh, I don't care, I could do either, but this seems easy." And I was just like, you know what? And then she's like, maybe it's better if you're at the end because of your height, so you don't topple over. And I was like, you know what? I could do either. That's fine. I just thought because ball and cup, not so hard. No, that thing is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So you mentioned the team that you're going against was very good. So talk about like the ball and cup is the
Yeah.
first portion of it. So are you doing it and it's just not working and are you like aware of how well the other team is doing and they sunk it easily and they're moving on, or is it kind of just like you're zoned in on what you're doing?
So I'm zoned in, but in the corner of my eye, like I could hear them, but like I'm not gonna turn and look at them and see them. Like I'm zoned in.
Yeah.
But like if they do everything in one try, boom, 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 they're surpassing us, right? So it took
Yeah.
me probably like 20 tries. Like that thing was hard, right?
Okay.
So we only got to Flying Rock, which she didn't even knock over the rock yet, and they were done. But
Oh
we were
wow.
like, that's how quick they were because they did everything in one try. So I'm
Wow.
saying, like, even if I did it quicker and I did the Flying Rock and she did the Ball and Cup and I get it in the first try, like they probably still would have, um, beaten us because they were so quick. I mean, our production told us the team against us was like the quickest, if not one of the quickest teams. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even if because that I was like, okay, like even if I did my flying rock, which I practiced, I did it one time, like we'd have to do everything once.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm in my zone, but at that time I'm panicking, I'm shaking, and I'm like, I froze. I'm like, we're dying. Like that's like my shot is up at winning this money and being on Squid Games, like it's devastating. And
Yeah.
when we died, I was just in shock. We go change, I've got the ink on me. We go on the bus and I'm just devastated. I'm still internalizing things. We talk to psych and you got to talk to psych when you get out and I just go to my room and I start bawling and I'm like, holy shit, this is it. Like this is the end of the road for me. Like I'm done. Um and like a lot of people were upset that got out of the pentathlon. I was devastated when I got home. It's hard to empathize unless you're in the show. Like my other castmates can totally relate. But like when I got home, I felt empty for a week. Like I felt like I was like in a bubble. I was detached from the real world. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be here and I just like nobody could understand what I was going through because I go home, my family, my close friends are like, "Oh my God, like you were on a reality show. Like you must have loved like oh my God, you're so lucky. Like you must be so happy." And I'm like kind of like a shell of myself and they're like, "Wake up. Like what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Yes, like they were like you had this opportunity. Like you should be so happy. You're so lucky." And like, "Yes." And I'm like, obviously, but you just don't understand like what yes of course there's that which now I realize but also like when you get right out of it you're like yes but I just like that opportunity just went out of my hands and um you don't really understand because everyone thinks, oh, you should be happy, but like nobody understood the emptiness I was feeling because um like I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be back here. Like I was supposed to be doing this and I was supposed to be in the dorms and um yeah. So, for a while I kind of felt that and I talked to other players from both of my seasons and it was, a lot of people felt that way. And, um so yeah, I think but like obviously looking back like no matter how I did at the end of the day, I got to live my dream and be on Netflix. So I got to experience that and nobody can take that away from me. But I think just at first, it's, when you want something so bad and you're so passionate and you try so hard and you've been looking forward to it and then it's just taken away from you like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, it is something that, it takes a long time to decompress. Like I can
yeah,
understand that.
decompress. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to circle back to
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that the team that you went up against did it in one of the fastest times.
Yes.
So does that make, the blow of losing a little bit less because you're like, even if we gave it
Yeah.
everything, we probably still would have lost. Like this
Yeah.
isn't really our fault. They just had a better day today.
I mean, it was still my fault because I messed up on the ball and cup. And
But,
I
your teammate kind of fucked up too. And,
right.
so it's
But
like,
yeah. Um, exactly, exactly. We both did. Yes, it was what I think when I was crying, production told me that to make me feel better because I was bawling and they were like,
yeah,
just to let you know, they were super fast, like not to take anything away, but like you likely would have lost anyway, even
right.
if I did the flying rock. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to be able to do that and hit that like I practiced, but
Yeah.
I switched my mind. Let I was trying to be a team player and I didn't go with my gut. And now I've learned do what I need to do for myself. Um, you know,
Yeah.
but but yeah, it's tough in that situation, because um kind of think of it like ascendance too. I mean, you have more time in ascendance and stuff, but like, when you're like thinking about the team and the captain, like you got to think of other people too, not just yourself. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put people where they feel confident sometimes, and if that means you have to be
yeah.
kind of playing out of position, sometimes that's what you gotta do for the betterment of the team. But I do want to ask you, Debbie,
Yeah.
about one of my favorite parts of this Squid Game, the challenge, is it's sad, but when the people die in the Squid Game, the challenge, and the ink gets exploded into their
Yeah.
chest. Did so like when that happened to you, like number one, what does that feel like? And number two, like did you have like a fun like death reaction?
Okay, so it just feels like a paint gun, like tickling. Like you have an ink pad in your chest that you're wearing this big heavy thing,
Okay.
and like you have the microphone too. Like you've got like this heaviness on you. Um, it just feels like psh, like a tickle, like a laser
Okay.
tag. It doesn't hurt. It just feels like it's tickling. And
Because it
that
sounds
all
so
the
it sounds so aggressive. I'm like, whoa.
yeah, it's just a tickle. Um, and I wanted to have a dramatic death, but I was just in such shock that like my team like all had a dramatic death and fell, and I just fell to the ground. And I was like, you know me, I'm not quiet, but instead of like crying and screaming, I just froze and I internalized and I fell and I was like in my head, like, oh shit. Like I just froze.
Yeah.
Um, because I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, is this real right now? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those are always, yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to have that happen. Like just like the emotion that comes over you at that point when you know that you've actually been
Yeah.
eliminated from the game. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
It is. Like, yeah. And I know it's like 160,000 people applied, 456 made it. And so, like I had to rely on my support system and my friends and, to remind myself that at the end of the day, no matter what, I made the show. And I
Yeah.
was on TV, I was on Netflix. even though I had my like 2 seconds of my speaking line, I don't know if you saw my back was turned. I was talking to Mark, but
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, I mean, some people got nothing. And of course I would have wanted more screen time, but at the end of the day, I have to use it as like, okay, the door just opened for me. I got on a show. I can do this again. And yeah, I just got to think about the future. But no, it stung. I mean, not that I thought I was going to win, but you always dream of like getting far and getting that money. And I'm like, I want to do mingle. I want to do gifting, like experiencing that. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about some of the
It's
games that happen after you're eliminated, but
okay.
before we get that, I want to kind of ask you about the what happens post elimination. You kind of touched on it. You have to go to psych, kind of talk with them, and then I'm assuming you go back to where you were
Yeah.
sequestered, and then they kind of shuffle you out from there, or
Yeah.
are you
So
there the entire time? Like
no, no,
where
you're
do
not. You're
yeah.
not there the whole 3 weeks. So like, basically, like some people have exit interviews, like a confessional or and some people don't have that booked, and then basically you get a paper under your door, so you go back to the hotel where you were in after you talk to psych, and you have your meals and stuff which you had before, and everyone gets to talk, and you have your phones back, and people are adding each other to WhatsApp groups and stuff because we can't really like publicly talk yet.
Okay.
And we're in London, and so we're in the hotel, and they book your flight back, and usually they book you back within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes a few days because it takes time to like get the flight and book your flight. So yeah, you're they get you home within 2 days once you're out, and you get your
Okay.
phone and you can call people, you can call your family. Um, and yeah, I mean, if they want an exit interview, but you're not staying around the whole day. I'm like, when you're out, with your group, like you're out.
Yeah. So you get back on to Jersey, you're with your family, you mentioned, you know, they're so excited that you were able to be on the show and you're kind of still like in shock of what just
Yeah.
happened. Um, how long did it take you to be like, okay, I'm back to normal, like let's get back into
Yeah.
the normal day-to-days.
Yeah. So I took off work for 3 weeks. It wound up being a week, but I took off like a little longer, like the 2 weeks, because I wanted some time to like decompress when I got home. I mean,
Okay.
I already had off, so I like didn't go back to work right away.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely that week, that whole week, I was just like in my zone, like decompressing. But I would say it probably took me 2 weeks to like fully get back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, And you obviously can't tell anybody close to you where you placed or what happened, right?
And you're not allowed to talk about it. So exactly. So like you're allowed to like tell your really close inner circle, like best friends and family where you're going, but and that you're back because you want support like from the show, but you can't tell them where you placed or how you did. So
Okay.
yeah, it's hard because you can't talk about it. But people when they saw me back a little early was like where they were like, so I guess you didn't win.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's hard. And I remember, so it's hard when you have young kids for them to keep their mouths shut.
Right.
Um, my older son, he didn't really say much, but my younger one was in kindergarten and he told his teacher and his whole class, and his teacher was like, "Oh my God, I heard you're gonna be on Squid Games." She's like, "My boyfriend works for Netflix." I'm like, "Oh my God, you cannot tell your boyfriend." She's like, "No, no, no, don't worry." She's like, "Austin came in and said my mom's going on Squid Games," and told the whole class. I was like, "Oh my God." And people were like, "Wait, like you're not going to Korea, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to Squid Game the Challenge. It's the reality show." Um, and people like some like they're little kids, and my son told his friend who told his mom, and his friend's like, is your mom gonna die? Like, are you gonna go and
Yeah.
die? Like, really get killed? I'm like, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
Nobody's shooting anyone.
Yeah.
Netflix is not shooting people. um,
They're just
but
shooting film. Shooting film.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna get hurt. Don't worry. But yeah, it was, it was tough. And kind of like when you come back from an allergy too, like I mean, I don't take a week or two to decompress, maybe a few days, but
Yeah.
it's a similar feeling where like you just lost like something, it's different because usually it's strategic and people voted you out. Nobody voted me out. It was a game
Yeah.
and luck that I got out. Like socially, I wouldn't, I mean, who knows? I could have been, but my goal was to be good socially that I don't think I would have been a target that would have been voted out.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Debbie, you're obviously wearing the shirt that you had in the
Yeah.
game right now. Do you get hooked up with a decent amount of merch from this, or is it kind of just like what you were given, what we see you wearing on the show?
So this is not my shirt from the show. I bought it. My shirt
Oh,
was all
sick.
squibbed. Yeah, so this I bought like a jumpsuit. I bought this. So they don't you don't they for I don't know why, but for some reason they don't allow you to take unless you take it, your shirt, your outfit from the show, your jumpsuit. The shirt gets squibbed, it's all inked up. So we all bought our stuff. I did take my bum bag. So I have all my toiletries in that still. Like I was able to take that. Some people were
Okay.
able to take things, but you don't get hooked up with merch. You have to buy it once you're out. So like I went on Amazon and bought this hat. Like I bought a sweatshirt, but I wish I got hooked up with merch. I mean, maybe some of the main characters do, but you know, but we all had to buy our own jumpsuits and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha. That's cool
Yeah.
though. And so I wanted to ask about throughout the show, I don't know if you see the game master at all throughout the portion of where you're from your POV during the game, but do you get to talk to or not talk to, but do you get to see the like the people in the red, like the
The pink
guards or
people.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we definitely saw the pink guards because like when I did the game, he was like pass.
Hmm.
One of the pink guards was either overheated or like we were filming so long, like not eating or drinking. One of the guards passed out, like
Oh wow.
literally. But that was crazy. But yeah, we get to see them. We see the pink guards, yes. Like they come out when the games are starting. And before that, we just have like floor producers that are like giving us our meals, telling us what to do, like telling us what's gonna happen like in the dorm. If you need medicine, if you need a mic, new battery, check, if you need an air brake, etc.
Did you ever try to talk to any of the guards, or are they allowed to speak to you?
I didn't really try to talk to them. I don't know if they're allowed to talk. I'm sure people tried to talk to them, but I didn't.
I just wonder
Hello,
what they would
Mr.
what
Guard.
I
I'm
wonder
trying
what
to
they
make
would say.
alliances, but I'll make one with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
In the actual show, there's a lot of corruption with the guards.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
harvesting organs, so I didn't know if there was any of that going on.
No one's harvesting organs.
Okay, good. Everything's on the up and
Yeah.
up. Um, okay, so I love to be able to speak with you about your time in the game, and it's really actually very interesting for me because I'm such a fan of the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple things about post your elimination, um,
Yes.
and some of the decisions that were made by some of the players, and what you
Yeah.
thought of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so there's a couple of big decisions in the game that I thought were very interesting, and there's a couple characters that were very polarizing that I wanted to get your take
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Um, and the first one was the player that lied about having a child. He was like,
Oh, Eric.
yeah,
Yes.
I wanted to get your take on that. Like, if Eric had done that to you, and then he obviously reveals it to his closest ally in the game, but say you were in the position of his closest ally and he revealed that to you, how would you feel about that?
So Melissa and Eric are LRG players. And they actually like were friends before, but like, you know, um, so I would have believed him. If I knew if Eric lied to me and I knew he lied, if I were in Melissa's shoes, you mean like playing marbles?
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's interesting for you specifically because you also are a mother and
yeah.
you have two children. So I wanted to hear how you, how do you think you would react in that moment?
I mean, I think I would have reacted similar to how Melissa did. Like, you're an idiot. Like, why would you lie about this? Like, why do you think this is like people have real kids? Like, why? Like, I get it. Like, I just don't he had this funny story and like it was funny, like it's a joke now. Um, I'd love to kind of ask him, like, I know he like thought of it beforehand, and I think he thought it would help his position in the game.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it did necessarily. I think he would have done the same if he didn't. I don't think he needed to have that story. I think he still would have done as well as he did.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an interesting move. It reminded me of an old school Survivor play from a player called Johnny Fairplay, where he lies about his
Yeah.
grandmother being dead on a
Yeah.
on the show to get a little bit of a pity from some of the players.
I also think when you lie about something like that, you have to you have to say the same lie over and over because if you like don't tell the same story, people are going to catch you in a lie. That's why I can never lie like that because I would not remember my lie to tell again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, um, you mentioned earlier in this interview having a conversation and knowing the player Mark,
Yeah.
who had a lot of screen time while he was in the game.
Yeah.
Um, and he goes out in an interesting way where he has to catch a ball and there's a lot of drama and everything.
Yeah.
We're watching the game pass when you were eliminated. Were there players that you were actively rooting for? And did you actually know what had happened post your elimination?
Yes, so there were definitely players I was rooting for. Like I was rooting for Mark, I was rooting for Matt Manfred, I was rooting for Hannah, Eric, Melissa, like the people I talked to, Vanessa, definitely people I was rooting for. And yeah, I had heard like yeah, I had heard like what happened post my elimination and with the catch with Mark and everything. Yeah.
Okay. And so Vanessa is the player that makes it all the way to the final five, right?
Yeah, she
So seeing her make it all the way to the final five and you having somewhat of a relationship with her, how did that feel? Like, were you like rooting for her at that point in the
Oh
game?
yeah,
Like, where
I
you were
was
like, I hope she
excited.
takes it home?
I was excited. I wanted like Hannah, Vanessa, Mark, like any of the people that I was like, had the connections with to win. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, go Vanessa. I didn't think she had won just from hearing like I didn't know who won, but like who was in the finale. But I knew she got really far. Like I knew she made it far. But yeah, I was excited for her. I was rooting for her. Yeah.
Um, I wish that you were able to stay in the game a little bit further with her to be able to practice,
Yeah.
the red light, green light, because
Yeah.
she needed some practice on that one.
Yeah. She did. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, she fell to the ground. Yeah.
yeah, she was out first. Another polarizing player in the game. I wanted to get your take on this person, or if you had any
Yeah.
interaction with, was the this poker player. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, Steve. So I remember I barely met him but I remember like meeting him like um really quickly and him introducing saying I'm Steve from Arizona and he like put his arm around me and he was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, he's kind of cute." Like I mean, I was kind of good looking, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but that was it. Like I was just like, oh, he's nice, friendly, like, but yeah, I didn't really know him. I just met him really quickly. And then I had heard he had gotten to the end.
Were you shocked with this backstory of him having won, multi-millions of dollars playing poker? Did you get that impression from him at all that he was kind of, a little bit
He
of a
seemed
gamer?
confident, like, hey, how you doing? Like a flirty, like but I didn't know that. I also been like, damn, you don't need the money if you're a millionaire already.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he was one of my favorites this season. I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie. I loved his storyline, and yeah, he was great, I thought. Um, But another huge part in the game that I wanted to get
yeah.
your take on was this final five or final six, I guess, right before the
Yeah, yeah.
final five with Trinity, and he
Yeah.
ends up giving up his chance at the end.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh man. So I didn't meet Trinity in the game, but he seemed great. Like I heard about him and I actually I've smiled at him a few times, but I didn't really like meet him, you know? Um, but I heard he's an amazing guy. I would not have done that. You're so close. I would not have done that at the final five. So I don't know like what was going through his head during it, but I would not have done that.
Yeah. I really wonder why he I mean, obviously he explains why he does it, but
Yeah.
it's the kind of what if, because I feel like in this next portion where it does end up being red light, green light, I feel like
Yeah.
Trinity could be
He could have won.
he
He
could have
could have
won
won.
that.
Yeah.
Um, and then lastly, I my favorite game um that they do is the one where you have to figure out who puts the box on your desk.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to play that. Yeah. The gifting.
How do you think you would do in this scenario? Um Number one, how do you think you would do if somebody put the box on your desk? And then what would be your strategy for putting a box on somebody else's desk?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to tell who put the box on my desk based on body language. Like, I don't know if I would think it would either be someone really close to me or someone that doesn't talk to me. I feel like someone in the middle, though I don't know. Um, it probably would actually more likely be someone that didn't talk to me because they would be targeting me. I don't know if I'd be able to read and figure out body language. Um, what I do know is if I put the box on someone's desk, oh, I do not have that poker face at all. You would see it written all over my face. They would have guessed it was me. Like, I am not good at not smirking. So, oh my God, I don't know if I would have done a good job of like, I would have looked nervous. I would have not like made eye contact. But I think I would have put it on someone's thing who I didn't have as good of a relationship with. But then it
Okay.
would be obvious too. So I don't know. Um, yeah, I might have just been random, honestly, like put it on someone's random so that they would have a hard time guessing.
Maybe just give the box to one of the guards and hopefully that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. But no, that would have been interesting. I don't know how I would have done on that, to be honest, because yeah, I don't know.
You know who was really good at that was the cop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was
Deja.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, do we know what happened to her in terms of injury? It
Yeah.
looks like she may have like got an
Yeah,
ACL or something. What?
so she tore her
Achilles tendon.
Achilles or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, Achilles. She was in crutches, like she did get hurt. I think like when you're doing it so quickly and then you stop, like you could jam, like you can jam, like you can move your body the wrong way. So I think that's what happened.
It's a big injury this past season in the NBA, actually, is the Achilles.
Okay.
People starting really quickly, and then all of a sudden they get that real like
Yeah.
quick tense pull in the Achilles area and it just snaps. So it looked
Yeah.
exactly like what happened to her. So I was curious because that's got to be such a bummer, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure.
She
Yeah.
was right there.
I actually thought, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I thought Deja was going to win actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so I was
Um,
shocked.
what do you think of the ultimate winner? Perla, I believe her name was, right? Perla.
Yeah, so I had a feeling Pearl and Deja were the final two. I thought that Deja had won. Um, I wanted Deja to win. I've met Deja. She's great. I mean, Perla, I don't think I ever met her in the game. She seems great too. I think the
Yeah.
story with her brother, though, is a good. Like, I think either one of those two women winning would have been a good winner. Um, I like Steve. I just am glad the gambler who's already a $6.5 million millionaire didn't win. Um, but yeah, I think, it was a good winner.
Steve winning would have been like Thanos winning, you know?
Yeah, but it's like he doesn't need the money. Like, I don't know. I know he was a good villain, but I think someone that needed the money, that was good, you know?
Yeah, Perla's edit I thought was very much of a heroic and kind of
Yeah.
a winner's edit. I felt like she had a
It
good
told
shot from winning.
it was a winner's edit. Like it totally was heroic because she was almost out and then they focused on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Debbie, this has been so fun getting some
Yes.
behind the scenes behind the scenes scoops of what happened this season and kind of just like the technical stuff and how you got cast and everything. Is there anything that we haven't covered up to this point that you wanted to kind of touch on before I kind of close it out here?
I think the only thing is like, I would say part of it is I wanted to be able to like meet people from around the world, tell my story. I'm a Lyme disease survivor and be able to like show the world that if little old me can do it, you could do it too. And I wanted to like show everyone that I'm strong and that I can overcome things in life. And yeah, I kind of wanted to tell my story and inspire others that have gone through like, hardships or illnesses and stuff. Um, but I also wanted to be able to like challenge myself and see what my body can endure and stuff. It's kind of like Ascendance is in a house, but like real foot, I've played real foot. Like, you always can do things, you're stronger than you think you are. So, yeah, and if anyone, I guess ending it, if anyone has any questions, I think LRGs definitely prepare you for this. I think that um, just keep trying to chase your dreams because if it happened for me, it can happen for you too. And I think there's a lot of people in our LRG community that do go on to reality shows. And I think it's because we're super fans, we're gamers, we don't give up. Like, but we also are our authentic selves and we're true to ourselves. And I think um that's my advice to others. Just never give up.
Yeah, Debbie, it was so fun getting to kind of watch the journey that you went on. I'm so, I thought you kind of killed it here
Yeah,
and
thanks.
to be honest, like good for you, very motivating stuff from you and just keep going. But where can people find you? Like what you're on Instagram, where are
Yes.
you, where can people ask those questions if they have
Yes.
any for you?
Yeah, so I'm Debbie Zeidner Goldberg on Facebook. And I'm Jersey Debbie on Instagram. Um, so yeah, definitely hit me up. I'm also Debbie Zeidner Goldberg on or Debbie Z Goldberg on TikTok. I don't use it as much. I need to TikTok because that's the trend. Um,
Yeah,
but
go
yeah, hit
live.
me up.
Go live on
Yeah,
TikTok.
exactly. I do lives on Instagram, but I should do TikTok. But anyway, hit me up. I'm totally open to answering any questions and talking with, um, other people as well and allergy players also. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for coming on the podcast. I missed it because obviously I was competing in the season that you played of Ascendant, so I didn't get to do an exit interview with you there. But I'm glad I got to do it here for Squid Game the Challenge with
Yes.
you. It was much fun, and yeah, so awesome to kind of expand the coverage here on the channel. So thank you so much, Debbie.
Yeah, thank you, Duke. And next time if we're playing together, don't vote me out. No, I'm kidding.
I won't. I won't. All right.